Now, from the previous discussions, we came to an observation that all the objects that we call as objects are nothing but actions, right? For example, this rose, we can perceive the color, the smell, the touch sensations, taste, or other the sound. If we hit it with any other object, we will feel the sound, and also if you taste it, you will feel distinct taste. So all those are basically actions that we perceive. And to explain those actions, or the reason how we are perceiving the color, the taste, etc., we ex we brought explanations like the color is due to the absorption followed by emission of something which is called light, because we will never know what light is, but we can see the color, and we think that there is something which is interacting with the object called the rose, and then producing the color. So there we come, or we introduce the aspects. One is energy, another is object. We have detailed discussion for the unknowability of energy as well as object. Again, if you go like how the taste, or how the touch sensations are happening, there are several explanations, like the taste is because the solubility of some chemical which is present in the rose, they are getting soluble in the water of the saliva, and then the small molecules are going to the pore of the tongue, and then we can feel the taste. This is how the explanation is introduced for the uh, for the taste sensation. And like that, there are several explanations, and all explanations are projected on actions. What are the actions? The actions are the color, the taste, touch, smell, sound. We are naming it as action, and these are only observable, and they are indescribable. Any description is explained by us or introduced by us. And for explaining, we introduce several other assumptions, several other frame of references. Mm, we borrow others' explanations as well. We produce derivative explanations based on those borrowed second-hand ideas. So it's all assumptions, that the whole pile of assumptions, we call it as an or as explanation. But that has its own value, right? Because without them, we won't be able to have any discussion right now. Like the speech, the language, all of them are created by us, the human beings. And the notation, the script, the all the things that we created by projecting meaning on the actions, different actions. So that has the only value that they are false or introduced by us. What is observable and what is the explanation? These two are completely different thing. The observation of an action, or the action itself, is different than the explanation that we projected on that particular action. So for example, this action, which is termed via objectification of a particular segment of the continuum, which is called universe, is indescribable, this action. But we are very much able to cut it from the whole existence, and then project it a name called rose with a shape. But the shape is also an illusion, because there is absolute continuity. What is continuity? We will discuss. But right now, just see how the explanation and the action, they are completely different and they cannot coexist together. So this rose, whatever it is not having the explanations. That is the rose. There is nothing written on the top of the rose that ROSE. It's not written. The description of the smell, the beauty, the after seeing the rose, the beauty that we have, that we feel, all those emotions, those explanations, those are not in the rose. The beauty, definitely we feel the beauty, but the terminology, the beauty, the the word beauty itself, that is projected by us, right? Try to understand the very depth of these discussions. Otherwise, you won't be able to proceed smoothly in this journey, and that's the most important thing for us, right? So any explanation of this object called rose is completely separate than the rose itself. Make this very, very clear. All the explanations are somewhere else. Where it is, some people can call that the explanations are stored inside our head, that is inside the brain, that is inside the nerve cells, right? And then we can go on like the molecules, the macromolecules called proteins, or small molecules called glucose, or different hormones or other chemicals. We can go further like the even smaller, like the atoms or the constituent subatomic particles, etc. And that's also impossible because any action and its explanations cannot coexist together, because the action is higher level of reality and its imaginary explanations, that is the description of that action, they cannot coexist with each other. That we will see very very in very detail that how it is impossible. And another aspect is action cannot superimpose the meaning on itself. So the rose cannot put meaning on itself, right? We are capable of putting meaning on the rose. I mean, we don't know how the rose is thinking about itself. It's living, right? It's living, and it has his own biology. It has his own everything, which is distinct, and we are projecting our explanations on the object called rose, like we put our explanation or our thought to other human beings, like this is a very bad person, this is a very good person, this is ugly, this is very beautiful, like that. We think that all those explanations are embedded on the forehead, like this is ugly, this is beautiful, but those are not there. Those are our imaginations. There is nothing written called beautiful or ugly, etc. And all the imagination or explanation is different than the action that we are explaining, right? Make this very, very clear. So this is a pen. This is what it is, I don't know, but the explanation as this is a pen is not inside or outside anywhere in the pen or on the pen, right? Where it is, that's we are gonna explore. The explanation, what the storage, what is the storage of those explanations, that this is a pen, this is my head, uh, this is a language, this is a script, this is the universe. Those are all explanations, right? So the explanations has to be a different storage than the action. And we are gonna go through how the how the mechanism of storing information is happening. No assumption, only facts. Most interesting thing. Let's see. And yeah, another thing is that to explain something or to superimpose something, we need to have the desire of explanation, right? We need to have the desire to explain, or the will that I'm gonna explain, or I'm gonna go to gym, or I'm gonna run. The will, or the desire, you see. So the desire is must. Without any desire, there won't be the possibility of explaining anything. And there will be no desire if there is no self-awareness. So what is the self-awareness? Self-awareness is the constant experience of the existence. The constant experience of the existence itself. Sometimes we call it I am existing, sometimes we call the flower is existing, sometimes we call the sun is existing, sometimes we call the universe is existing, but those are all discrete concepts or objects that we objectified. This is a whole continuum, and we are going to see what is continuity. But the moment we feel that I and you, then the conflict begins, and it's endless. The whole world is burning because of this I and you. So self-awareness is beyond I and you. Self-awareness is everywhere. This flower is self-aware that it's there. You are self-aware. I am self-aware, right? And wherever we go, that awareness is present. Observe this. Wherever we go, even if we go to some other galaxies or other corner of the universe, we will have the self-awareness. Now, the self-awareness, the desire, the explanations, those cannot be with or in or mixed with the action, or in more accurate way, those cannot be the action itself, because after observing the action we have the desire to explain the experiencer, or the consciousness has to be different than the action, right? We have to go from top to the bottom. Don't jump to any borrowed second-hand ideas. Just look at the discussion. So any action that we are observing, we are observing through an agent which we termed as consciousness. Now, consciousness is unknowable. The anything that is knowable is action. Now, after observing the desire that we have to put an explanation, or put the emotion, or say something about it, anything, all those things, all those desires, where those desires are, is it in the consciousness, is it in the action itself, is it in the energy? And also the desire and the self-awareness have to be coexistent. So self-awareness is also unknowable, desire is also unknowable, consciousness is unknowable, object is unknowable, energy is unknowable, right? And also the actions are, or the action that is perceivable or observable, there is a subtle difference. observability and unknowability. A thing has to be observable, otherwise there won't be any feeling of existence itself. So the action is the thing that can be perceived, but all the other items like the energy, object, consciousness, desire, self-awareness, they are unknowable. We brought the concept of them, that there is something which is interacting with something, then producing this action which we are perceiving as color, sound, taste, touch, smell, etc. Right? So we are going to see that how this desire, the self-awareness, uh, the consciousness, and the explanations, all how all of them are related with each other. Don't take any prejudice, or don't rely on any second-hand ideas that you borrowed from some book, from some scripture, or whatever, because that will block you from this journey. This journey is your own journey that you have to take.